I absolutely love 3D Mario games. I remember getting my grubby 9-year-old hands on a copy of Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Wii and loving the ever-living fuck out of it, and I've basically played every single one that has come out since. To me, and to I think all of us, 3D Mario games is like that really cool uncle that only shows up to family events every 5 years, but when they do come, it's an absolute blast. Now, we've been on a Mario drought for almost 6 years ever since the release of Odyssey, and quite honestly, it's fucking upsetting at this point, and the Mario movie, whilst it was good, was a complete slap in the face for me and the 3D Mario community. So to quench my thirst for Italian bounce man, I have decided to play and review a 3D Mario game that I surprisingly have never played before.
Super Mario Galaxy!
Now, I'm going to come at this review from a critical angle and not let my love of the franchise influence me at all. For me, if the game sucks balls, the game sucks balls. Not to say it sucks balls, but you get where I'm coming from. But before I talk about Mario, let's talk briefly about the Nintendo Wii. A revolutionary console, some might say, a success in the gaming industry with incredible sales. Yet again, Nintendo are at the top of the market when it comes to hardware and innovation, and came up with a new idea that would change the game entirely. Motion controls.
You can see right here, I'm getting ready to serve. All I do is throw that ball up in the air, and when oh, jeez. And there goes the tennis racket.
For the first time since this piece of shit came out, motion controls were no longer a niche concept, and most games that came out on the Wii implemented these motion controls in some way or another, with Mario Galaxy being no exception, but I'll get into that later on in the video. Now, where do I even begin with this game? The theme of this version of Mario is space and gravity, which the game introduces to you right in the beginning when Bowser crashes the party, drops some disrespect towards Peach, steals the fucking castle, and then blows Mario off into the abyss. Immediately after that, you wake up on this tutorial island where you're shown how the gravity mechanic works, and the game then sort of opens up for you to play level by level. Now I'm going to skip right past the foreplay and immediately gape the arsehole by saying the gravity mechanics in this game are by far the most fun aspect of this game, but also the aspect that ruins the game for me. You can long jump a crevice with a menacing black hole in the middle, long jump off the side of a floating planet to get swung back around onto the other side, flip a switch that reverses the gravity, jump off a planet to then get caught in the gravitational field of another, and you can get real funky with it sometimes. All of this creates some of the most unique platforming that Mario games are so renowned for. But when this doesn't work, it's incredibly frustrating. And to be fair, some of the jank that came with gravity mechanics were actually due to the shitty controls. Like when you're moving too fast on a small planet and a camera doesn't have enough time to catch up with Mario, so he just decides to run in fucking circles for a bit until it fixes itself. Can't exactly say I was expecting the controls to be excellent though, since they were originally played on this. The actual levels themselves were, for the most part, really fun. You see, Super Mario Galaxy took a much more linear approach to level design, as you choose a level, then you choose which star you want to get for that level, and you're essentially locked to that star, unlike say Mario 64, where once you were in that level, it was up to you which stars you wanted to aim for first. Galaxy very much makes up for it with how stunning the levels looked. Flying in like a badass, you got a glimpse of the ass fucking that awaited you, and traversing these levels felt great. I just wish I could turn this fucking camera so I could appreciate it more. Also, the music? Don't get me started on the music. Galaxy has some of the most iconic Mario soundtracks of all time that always perfectly fits the theme of the level. You got the peaceful World 1 music that sets you at ease, gives you the chance to get a little bit flaccid for what's to come. These tutorial levels pose little to no threat, allowing the player to sit back and enjoy the vibes. You have the upbeat, fast-paced vacation-style music whilst you're speeding down this water level, butt cheeks clenched, gamer pose activated, this shit makes you want to turn the fuck up. And then it starts to get a little bit groovy on the B levels, sort of letting the player know to, you know, turn it back down a notch, enjoy what we have in store for you, as the B levels have more of an open plan design, encouraging some exploration from the player. And then of course you have the Bowser levels. God damn! Holy shit, boy! No one can tell me they don't get shivers going through these levels knowing what awaits you at the end. I mean, the build-up and tension is just fucking phenomenal on these actually hard-ass levels, and then when you're finally at the end, you're hit with this. I actually almost forgot to mention the bonus comet levels that would appear in galaxies after you had completed all 3 of the main stars from them. This would essentially be an extra 4th star to collect, but the level would be a repeat of one of the 3 levels you had just completed, with an added twist that would make it a bit harder. Some of these artificial difficulty increases were really fun and incredibly difficult, like the ones where you were put on 1 HP, meaning you had to finish the level without getting hit a single time. Oh, fuck off, you stupid cunt! Fuck off! What the fuck, man? Getting double teams right now, bro. Oh my fucking god. No, bro. Oh my god, of course they come out there, of course. No, oh my god, what the fuck is that, bro? Oh. Yes, try again. What the fuck? What? What? That didn't. What? How did that touch? Wait, am I dead? Am I dead? However, some comet levels felt like a complete waste of time by only adding a timer in which you had to complete the level by, when I had basically already completed it in a much faster time, so it felt like the game was just making me replay the exact same level I had literally just played. Still, I can appreciate the developers adding these comet levels in to add more replayability to each galaxy. Also, you might have been wondering, Tom, what the fuck is that tiny little blue star that keeps flickering across the screen? That, my friend, is a Nintendo Wii-specific mechanic whereby you point your controller on a screen to collect these little colourful stars called star bits. By collecting these star bits, you could feed these fat-ass pink stars that allowed you to access extra galaxies, stars, or hidden planets within levels, and that was pretty much the only use for collecting them. Oh yeah, you could shoot them. Yeah. Overall, this controller pointing shit serves absolutely no purpose other than when your mum insists you include your little cousin, but you don't want them to fuck around on your game, so you just give them the second remote and tell them to wiggle it around a bit, and convince them that they're making a real impact when they're not. Another Nintendo Wii implemented mechanic was when you had to tilt your controller to roll the ball and get to the finish line. Honestly, I remember these levels being really fun in Galaxy 2, but for some reason, I could never calibrate my controller properly even when it was level, so I'd often unintentionally go charging forward, causing a lot of frustration. I don't know if it had something to do with my Ratchet Pro controller or what, but just something I noticed in the Switch version of Galaxy. Before I end this review off, I wanted to also briefly touch upon some personal gripes I have with the game that many might not agree with, but it grinded my gears slightly during my playthrough. And I say this as a fan of the Mario franchise. Firstly, water levels. Now I know there's a lot of mixed emotion when it comes to water levels, whether it be 2D or 3D Mario games, but man, the water levels in this game felt like a chore because it was so tedious to navigate Mario, partly due to the inverted controls every time Mario went for a swim. You either go at a snail's pace or go way too fast, meaning if you somehow missed your objective by racing right past it, you would have to do this awkward U-turn maneuver, and if you had the speedy green shell, the turning circle was dogshit. Every time a water level was previewed to me, I couldn't help but let out a huge sigh, as I knew it was going to be a bad time. Another huge gripe I had was how restrictive the game was in some parts. One of my favourite aspects of the sandbox games like 64 and Odyssey was the freedom you got when deciding how to get from A to B. Like how in Mario Odyssey there could be a clear path ahead, but if you're feeling saucy, you could ignore the designated path and pull off a series of tight jumps to skip it entirely. With Galaxy, the developers really push for the player to play the way they intended, and I just wish they didn't, because so many times I'd think of an idea on how I could skip various sections of the levels, just to realise they put barriers to stop the player from doing this. Alright, look, I've already envisioned everything, it's gonna go perfectly. Check this shit out. I'm gonna wait for this platform to move here, long jump onto it, long jump onto the other platform, and the rest will be history. My final gripe would have to be the fucking unskippable dialogue that moves slower than an 8-year-old trying to read a Biff, Chip and Kipper book. I'm playing Animal Crossing at the moment, which is built on dialogue, and even they have a button to speed that shit up. I wouldn't mind if every NPC had something different to say, but no, it's the same repeated line of text every single time and completely ruins the pacing of the game. Look, I think it's cool that Galaxy tried to introduce a storyline for those who wanted it, but I'll keep it $1.50. I don't play Mario games for the story, just get me in the level and stop wasting my fucking time. But yeah, that's about it for this very honest review. There are a lot of things I could have talked about, good and bad, but in order to keep this video fairly short, I kept it to only the main stuff. I know it might have felt like I was pretty critical in this review, but trust me, I enjoyed this game, and by pointing out all these shortcomings, it actually perfectly showcases how far 3D Mario games have come with masterpieces like Odyssey. Galaxy is an old game, and gamer standards have increased dramatically since it released in 2007, so I guess this is more of a review on how it holds up in 2023, and in many ways, it does. So with all the above mentioned, I give Super Mario Galaxy a 6.5 out of 10. Anyways, that's all from me, now I can finally play Tears of the Kingdom. Peace. What the fuck is Bowser Jr. doing now? Hello? What?